Yeah.
and it's been a great way to enjoy life. But yeah, all right.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for for coming here and sharing your love of dance with us because we think it's really amazing what you've been able to accomplish. Could you share a little about your dance experience, what it was like growing up?
Oh yeah, dude, definitely. Growing up, so my mom when I was in high school, my mom always tried to get me to dance Mexican folklorico because my older brother did it too. And at the time, I was just doing track and cross country, and I was like, nah, like I'm good with this. And also, I was just kind of afraid of being outed by and being in a dance group. So, I was still in the closet and whatnot. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. As much as like it's which is weird looking back now. I love dancing at family parties. Like my cousins and I were always the first ones to open up the dance floor, but like for some reason that didn't translate into trying Mexican folklorico out. So it never happened. But then in college, I went to UC Santa Barbara, and they had this event called Bienvenida where they like hosted a bunch of different Latin led, like Latino student led organizations, and they were like their way of trying to recruit freshmen, incoming freshmen and whatnot. And I remember I was just kind of like walking from booth to booth, and this folklorico group there like got up on stage and started performing to Sinaloa. And the music they use for Sinaloa is banda, which has like a lot of brass. It's really loud. It's like, it's great. I love it. I love dancing to banda. And I just remember like I was making my way across and I heard the music and I looked and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I immediately found their booth, signed up, and yeah, and I was sold from the first practice. Then I went. I was barefoot because I didn't have shoes, like my dance shoes yet, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. I fell in love with the community, the people, the dance, what it meant, and it's really just been a journey since then. Like I haven't stopped, and I don't plan to.
Oh, we're glad to hear that. Yeah, you gotta continue that journey.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this we always think it's so amazing to hear about the journey and where you started at to where you're going. So can you share a little bit about maybe some like trials you've experienced or maybe like roadblocks that you've experienced while dancing? Have
Yeah.
you?
Whew. I okay. So far, I'm gonna knock on my table because it's made out of wood. I am really happy to say that like I haven't gotten injured through dance yet. And I mean, okay, not seriously injured where I'm forced to stop. And I plan to like stay conscious of that, like and recently, especially now I'm 31, which I like you start to feel the differences in your body, right? Like I warm up a lot more intentionally now. I like stretch more intentionally. But yeah, so like thankfully that has been okay. I think one of the biggest road bumps that I might have happened was definitely in college. I became director of the group, so like that meant choreographing the dances, like stepwise, um, the actually choreography, like the movements, putting our final show together, and all that fun stuff. And I think that was just very difficult because I was in a leadership position that I hadn't been in before, and it definitely got to a point where I had to really like how can I how's what's the best way I can communicate this? Like really just like make the appropriate sacrifices and the appropriate movements to make sure that the group and the people in my group like were being cared for or like shining in the best light, you know? I remember there was one I don't it's not altercation. We had a meeting because there was just something serious happening, and like everybody was in tears somehow. um, and it all like at one point it kind of, or I mean, I could be remembering wrong, so I'm not trying to like I could be totally wrong, but I just remember having to be the person to be like hard or more straightforward and making those decisions to be like, no, like it has to be done like this. Like it was a hard thing for me to do because like I have to flex into that space, if that makes sense. Like I like to be an easygoing person. I like to understand, I like to be the people pleaser, which it could be to a fault, I will say. But if I need to be pushed in that direction, I am willing to take a step into it. You know, I'll be exhausted. It'll cost me a lot of energy because I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to be that person. But like, it was definitely a trial where I think I learned more about myself as a leader and what it takes to make the right decisions for the better of all, or not even the better of all, that's like serves everybody fairly, or that makes the most sense. But like, yeah, even being in some of the groups now, like there's just those moments where you're trying to just keep the community in the healthiest way possible. And I think most recently I've had to leave one of the groups I was dancing in because something happened. I'm not really free to share, but something really intense happened to the point where it went against my morals. And I'm like, as much as I love dancing, as much as I love these opportunities you've given me, I can no longer give you my time, my talent, and my efforts because of what's happened. And it was hard because I knew that it was just going to be a big chunk of my life out, like, because this group took up a lot of my time and practices. And I was also going to miss a lot of the people that I got to see. But like to this day, like I think about it, I'm like, no, like there's no excuse. Like that happened and you're not worth my time. Like I know it sounds intense, but like frankly, I had to put my foot down and be like, I know what I stand for, and that's what I'm sticking to. And yeah, I mean, whew, I think that's probably one of the toughest things because but then again, this happened within the last year, so I think I'm still kind of like letting go.
Yes. So
um
kind of letting it go, because yeah, I know sometimes it takes a while to really kind of come to terms with those experiences sometimes.
yeah,
And yeah,
100%.
just dealing with that. So well, thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say there was one actually, a physical one. I totally forgot. I cut myself with a machete once. There's some dances where we dance with them, throw them in the air and everything. It's really not as bad because you get used to the weight and then you just know how to throw it and like watch the handle and whatnot. But there was one time I did cut myself on the calf and I had to get 5 stitches. Yeah, I remember your reactions. That was great. I remember we were practicing. We were doing it was a week before our big performance. We were practicing and I just felt like a nick on my leg. So I stopped and I was like, oh, let me see how about the scratches. And I look and I'm just like, oh, my skin's open. Like I see meat under my skin. Like I need to go to the hospital. So like I was standing there and I just like raised my hand and waved my best friend over and I just pointed and I'm like, I need to go. But I think that was the most intense thing that's happened. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow, I mean that sounds really intense. Like what type of dances, like cultural dances, do you do with a machete? Is it all the cultural dances or specific types or styles?
Yeah, there are specific types. It's not all the regions. From just off the top of my head, there's the state of Nayarit, Colima. There's like two dances in Jalisco. There's one other one where you use one, but I'm totally blanking on it right now. But basically, when machetes are introduced into the dance, it like reflects the farmers, the agriculture that exists in that state, right? So because you're like it's basically the farmer workers coming back or like in a hard working day, like chopping at whatever it is that might be popular in that city, might be popular in that state, so it's really just a reflection of that it's a reflection of that lifestyle within the dance.
Nice. That's really really neat. Like I love how each dance or dance style depicts a specific culture or representation of what life is like.
I mean, same. That's why I've been in it this whole time, but I'm glad that I can like pique your interest in that way.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of our audience members will also find it very fascinating. So it's always good, I think, educating people about cultural, but especially dance. I think it's a really important aspect to people's cultures because it's a way of how they tell their story. Because again, everyone has a different story, and you see in dance all the cultural influences that are portrayed in that. Like you were sharing with us about the in one of the states there's polkas like
Mhm.
we're from Germany, which I think is really cool that we have that. You can see how the different cultures have been a part of the journey for these specific states and people.
Yeah, no, thank you. Oh, you said something earlier that I was gonna like reflect on, but I totally let it go. But yeah, no, thank you. I just yeah, I just think that dance is just such an important way of expression, you know, and it's I think even within cultures or cross culturally, like it's a way you can express to one another without even using words, you know, like there's so much language within it. And I bet like if you were to watch one piece of dance and someone was gonna ask you like, what's your best guess on what's that about? I'm sure you can get it within range, like just in a minute of watching it or observing it and taking in movements, you know, like I think that's something that's really beautiful, you know, and being able to tell a story or being able to express feeling, joy, sadness, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's truly amazing. So I feel like we've covered a little bit about what it's like growing up and then what you're what you're doing right now. So what does the future look like for you?
Oh man, that is a very good question. This question kind of finds me in a space where I don't even know. I'm not too sure. I wish I had an answer, but in honesty, I think right now I feel like I'm in preparation um for this next big thing. I'm not sure what it looks like. But I feel like I'm kind of like gathering myself or kind of like with myself to get ready for that. I think I in my head what I would like is I would like to start a group out here. Just cuz I miss dancing for the community. Again, this last group that I left, like great opportunity. I grew as a dancer in the 2 years that I was with them, but I feel like I lost the sense of community that originally connected me to the reason why I dance. Like, there's no better feeling than like doing those like small community shows where people are just like scream, like they're not even screaming. You can literally see it in their body language and then their like eyes and the way that they're watching it that they're just they love it. You know, like they feel that same joy, that they feel that same pride for the culture that I have, and it's just like it just in seeing that reflected in their face, I'm just like even better of a dancer, you know, like let me show you what I can do because right now we're connecting, you know. And I'm recently actually, and me and my best friend have been talking about this for a long time. Like we've just been missing that connection with the community. And right now I'm getting it through my kids, but I just want to be able to create something with like fellow adults, fellow dancers that I've gotten to meet here, and just like honestly just spread the joy. And not to be like cheesy, but spread the love and the joy that
Yeah.
like dance comes with, you know. And I don't know, like I'm just like in thinking that I'm just so happy if I'm able to just do that, like I'm good. You know, like that just like of course I want to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to learn dances. I'm going to continue to learn the history because you know like one of my recent teachers actually told us like if you ever come a day when you feel like you've learned all you can, you better get slapped because there's always more to learn. Like don't ever think that you're a master of it just because you feel like you've reached a point. Like no, all art is evolving, all art is growing, you know, like there's people that you might not even know that are doing it in a different way that you are. So I know that was really intense getting slapped. Like no one wants to get slapped, but you know,
Yeah.
it's like get off your pedestal, you know, like swallow your ego, swallow your pride. Like that's really where he was coming from. But like I remember, and this was like back when I took some workshops in April, and I remember him saying that, and I was like, "You're cool, you're dope, you're one of my favorites now." Like I feel you, you know. So I think my future is in preparation. You know, I'm like in a cocoon right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I think it's always sometimes we don't know the exact way, but we know the direction we're taking. And I think that this seems like that's where you're going is the direction you want to take, and it's just discovering what that way looks like for you. Because again, it looks different for all of us.
Yeah, facts. Facts are facts.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing, about yourself and, just sharing all this with us. Can you share a little bit about how people are interested in participating in cultural dancing and how they could get started, or what advice you would have for people who are just starting out dancing?
Ooh, get out there. I cannot stress it enough. And like I only say this because I recently did it. I took a kickboxing class yesterday. Yeah, I've been wanting to do it for years, and I finally was just like, you know what? Let's just go. Like, I'm gonna stop being nervous, stop being scared, and just see what it has to offer. And you really just got to take that step. And like, because this experience is so fresh in my memory, that's really all it takes. Like, yes, it's gonna be intimidating. Yes, it's gonna be scary. Yes, it's out of your comfort zone, but like again, not to be cheesy, and I'm probably taking this from like a Hallmark card, but like the most growth really happens outside of your comfort zone. And like you don't even know the potential that you have until you do that. And you don't even know like the experience that life has for you until you do that. And I learned like yesterday was such a reminder for that for me. Like walking into the gym, I was like, like don't look at me. I don't know what I'm doing here either. But like once the coach did the one-on-one session with me, I was in it. I like let myself be in it. You gotta let yourself be in it. Otherwise, you're just making up. I'm not gonna cuss. You're making ish up in your head that's only gonna ruin your experience in life. Like for as long as you're letting it. It's really just how much you let it control you or take control of you. Like you gotta push that stuff aside, yo. Like life is way too short. Life is way too beautiful to let such small things get to you. And you just gotta get out. And dude, like dancing is so joyful. Like I when people tell me they don't dance, I'm like, are you no one? Like I don't care. Like I'm not asking you if you're good at dancing. I'm not like asking if you have rhythm. Honestly, dancing is just what you feel and let yourself express it and let your body express it. Like I've definitely had dancers in the past that have had no rhythm, but my goodness, the freaking passion and love that they have makes up for it in like volumes, like more than somebody who might be the most gifted dancer. This person, oh my gosh, I'll never forget them. I'll never forget them because they tried so hard every day. Yes, it might have been offbeat, but you know what? You brought the joy. You brought the joy that this other person wasn't bringing. And for that, I love you. Like you are like in my good person book. So really, just to go back to your question, like just step the heck out of your comfort zone. Don't be scared. Stop getting in your head. I get it. Anxiety is such a thing. I'm a millennial. I get it. But like you just really just gotta not be afraid or at least swallow that fear.
Yeah, I think that's advice I think we all stand to benefit from is kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and even just like doing things that are different, like learning new things. Like I remember I'm with you. The first time I went to a gym, I was like, oh, don't look at me. Like I don't know what I'm doing. And then but then once I learned that like no one's judging you because everyone started where I started. Like I never was good with lifting weights or whatever, and then and no one's just good at something, right? Perhaps they discover they're good at something, but it's not, oh, you're amazing. It's a process, and so I think everyone recognizes that. So just not knowing, like, not even worrying about people judging you is so important because um again, like I love how you said it, like, step the heck out of your stuck comfort zone. That's true because I mean, no one is gonna judge you. Should be the least of your concerns. Like it's like we want you to succeed, like everyone does. In the gym, in the theater, and dance, and choir. In any different community, that success, they want you to succeed and have that success. So
Yeah, I was gonna add like, and the people who are judging you are probably the people you don't want to surround yourself with anyway. So like, if anything, their show of that character is a good way of you to be like, I ain't messing with you. I don't need you. Like, cut. Like not even given a chance. Well, I mean, yeah, nah. You don't want that kind of energy. Like you. I say I'm the type of person that gives second, third chances. So I'm like, but I there was something, yeah, I just like, yeah, your energy attracts the right energy, right? And if you're just going out there with a positive light, positive attitude, then you'll surround yourself with a community that you need to really, really grow out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. It's just, good energy attracts good energy. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. Just pivoting a little bit, could you share your perspective and background with the importance of Latino Heritage Month?
Oh man, the importance of it. That's a very good question. I don't even think I've thought about it in that sense. I think it really is just kind of my immediate answer really has to do with representation and being able to be seen. Like um an example, a total different example, and like this is how I always like speak, right? I always have to bring up like different examples because I'm not very good with words sometimes. Like I'm better at conveying emotion. I don't know. But one of the things that come to mind is how like the new trailer for The Little Mermaid dropped over the
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
I saw this Reddit post of a compilation video that someone made of black girls reacting to seeing a black Ariel. And like, I'm not even kidding. That thing like moved me to tears because I was like, that's like just seeing yourself and knowing that you're not othered anymore, or like less othered at least. Because unfortunately, we live in a state and time where it still continues to be like that. But like, I think the importance of celebrating this month is just really getting getting a platform, and really just being visible to the world and being like, yo, like I'm here, estoy aquí, like you ain't getting rid of me like that. you know um yeah, I think that would be my best answer, mate. I think that would, yeah, that's the importance of Latin American Heritage Month to me,
Well,
at least.
thanks so much for sharing that. I think it's always fascinating to learn about, to have these months where we get to learn about other cultures, but I don't think we should just keep it to a month. It should be a year thing, which I think the month is the reminder that these people are here, 24/7, 365. You don't just sleep and then they're not here. They're always here. So
Mhm.
I think that the month is just, we get to just see the enormous amount of culture and community that is going on throughout the whole entire year. And so I really encourage all of our viewers to take the time to learn more about Latino culture and the heritage, because this month is actually starts September 15th. And
Mhm.
it's not just September 1st. It's September 15th through October 15th, very specifically for because five South American countries gained their independence on the 15th. So that's why that date is so significant. So please take the time to educate yourself about the culture and the background of this month, why it's so important. And just pivoting a little bit, uh, do you have any last words of advice to our viewers? And please also share where people can find you on social media, and if you have a website or blog, we'd be happy to look at here.
Yeah, no, let's see. Hang on, I'm gonna hold out on the last word of advice because I'm gonna go with the easy stuff first. So, yeah, my name is Adam Barrientos. Yeah, I would say the only thing I think is Instagram. I don't really have any other. I mean, I have Facebook and whatnot, but I'm not as active. I'm most active on Instagram, and that would be under Adamus 004. Adamus as an ADAMUS. Like, and then the numbers 004. It came from an whole old high school nickname, play on Optimus Prime. So
Ah,
my cross country peeps just started calling me Adamus Prime, and I was like, cool, username for life.
no.
Yeah. So last thought. Actually, when you were giving your explanation about Latinx Heritage Month and like experiencing the culture, I would say look out for those community events. In honesty, the community events are, I think, the most authentic experiences that you can get when it comes to like experiencing again food because duh, the music, the dancing, the people, and it's just like I don't and like don't be afraid to step into it. I know maybe some of those events might be like Spanish speaking only, but honestly, for the most part, in my experience of going to different community events, the fact that you're there to like appreciate and experience and share the joy that these people have, like that people have. I'm not going to say these people, that people as like a tribe and like overall, is just such a great step of like joy and love. Like I know, at least like I can speak from that, like from when my parents, have like helped with some events and people show up, they're always just like, hey, like come on, like we got beer. I don't know if I can mention that here. We got beer, we got tacos, we have tequila, like everything for everyone, and it's just such a joy to share and commune together. Like it's so essential to the human experience, in my opinion. And yeah, so I just think like just get out there, don't be afraid, have fun, enjoy it. You never know who you meet.
Yeah, that's what I love about participating in community events, because here in Aurora we actually have a really cool community event called Sugar Skull City, and so it's a lot of the culture and community. You get to see so much, and all of these are done by local artists. So we have artwork, Latino heritage artwork that's done by all community members, and it's displayed in businesses in our downtown area. And so it's really cool to see, to have these different community events, because again, like you said, everyone is so welcoming and non-judgmental. Like even if you don't speak the same language, there's still so much to still learn, and even it's all about building bridges of cultural understanding. um
Yeah,
so
facts, like
thank
facts are facts, as I said.
um, well, thank you so much for sharing your evening with us, and educating us so much about Latino culture, and just the different styles of dance. I think we've all learned so much about it. So thank you so much.
No, y'all, thank you so much for the invite. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to share and like show a little light on some of this stuff. It's like it's just a passion of mine. But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome, Adam.
Oh,
Good
thank
job.
you.